A heatwave in Texas is forcing industrial-scale Bitcoin mining facilities to shut down their machines. The heatwave is causing prices for electrical energy to skyrocket, and it's putting a serious strain on the state's power grid. Heatwaves also increase demand for air conditioning, which is why the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, ERCOT, has called for more energy conservation. Fortunately, many of the miners have agreed to cut their power use and comply with the state's energy conservation requirements. Luckily, crypto miners are able to absorb excess power and throttle back in a few seconds to avoid blackouts. While the industry has faced criticism for its environmental footprint, some miners seem unconcerned about criticism. Marathon Crypto Mining, a Kentucky-based mining operation, recently announced a deal to build a 115-megawatt mining facility outside an abandoned coal plant in Indiana. After completing its construction of the Hardin facility in November, Marathon Digital Holdings has produced 34 Bitcoin as of the start of December. But if the electricity demands of the miners rise, the electric grid will have more trouble keeping up. Fortunately, there are ways to combat the problem by using solar panels instead. A solar array with 4 to 6 hours of battery storage is bankable in summer months, while a 50-megawatt facility in Big Spring, Texas, is another option. And for those that are considering installing a mining facility, consider what your company's policy is about it. The climate-related impact of cryptocurrency mining on the power grid is also a question that is on the minds of many people in Texas. Many people have asked him whether it would be helpful if Bitcoin miners were moved to a new state or shut down for the summer. While some of the comments may seem unkind, it is important to consider the economic benefits of cryptocurrency mining. The industry can help stabilize the power grid and can provide renewable power in times of high demand. Energy prices have surged across Texas during a heatwave, forcing some cryptocurrency mining operations to shut down. The high temperatures have created a test for the state's power grid. The electricity used by these operations has increased sharply, and the Texas grid operator has signaled high peak times. As a result, some Texas cryptocurrency mining operations may be forced to shut down more frequently. The hot summer months have increased demand for power, causing an overall rise in prices for electricity. In response, the electric grid operator ERCOT has set up a task force to study the effect of the crypto mining industry on electricity supplies. The miners will help move the state toward a renewable energy future by boosting development of wind and solar power in the state. They will also absorb excess clean power. According to Tesla Incorporated, if the state's crypto mining industry continues to run on clean energy, it will be able to restart operations. Some crypto miners are opting for systems that pay them to resell electrical power to the grid. Such a system may allow them to sell excess electrical power to the grid in exchange for electricity. The high price of Bitcoin also increases their power consumption. These miners can absorb excess blank force by slowing down in seconds to reduce power consumption. Ultimately, however, they must abide by a strict formula to avoid blackouts. The energy intensity of the mining process is increasing as the algorithm becomes more complex. The technology is requiring bigger warehouses with air conditioning. However, this process will only grow more expensive as the system requires more power. But it is worth the investment because the technology will spur new renewable energy development in the state. But the heatwave has other implications for the crypto industry. If the mining industry doesn't adjust to this reality, it could be disastrous for the industry and the environment. After China banned crypto mining in 2021, the United States quickly emerged as a top global mining hub, attracting miners from around the globe. The energy-intensive computers required for mining are known as Bitcoin miners, and they earn rewards in tokens. Several reasons drew miners to Texas, including the relatively low cost of energy and the state's liberal laws. However, the state's power grid has recently come under strain. A recent conservation notice sent out by the Public Utility Commission of Texas, ERCOT, resulted in the shutdown of some Texas Bitcoin mining facilities. While some facilities shut down during periods of high demand, others ramped down overnight. Those in the Ancillary Services Program are prepared to power down as directed by ERCOT. As the economy recovers, more miners will benefit from a broader availability of energy-efficient power resources. Although there is no regulation, crypto mining adds to the load on the grid in times of extreme weather. As such, many miners turn off their machines within 60 seconds. However, the use of electricity from Bitcoin mining can help stabilize the power grid and encourage companies to invest in the grid. It also encourages investment in renewable energy and in building new power plants. However, the cost of running a Bitcoin mine in Texas can quickly mount to millions. Despite the potential benefits of cryptocurrency mining, the electricity grid in Texas is already strained by fluctuating energy costs and sporadic service. The state's electricity grid, called ERCOT, is designed to provide dependable service to 90% of the population. However, it must strike a perfect balance between supply and demand, or else power outages will occur. And the demand may outstrip the state's grid's capacity, and Texas Bitcoin miners could face the same fate. In a bid to lure crypto miners to Texas, Governor Greg Abbott and Senator Ted Cruz have both made public appeals to investors in the state. During a speech at the Texas Blockchain Summit last month, Cruz pointed out that Bitcoin mining is unique in that it has the potential to be shut down during a power outage. Furthermore, Bitcoin mining provides a way for individuals to mine cryptocurrency without investing any money. According to ERCOT, Bitcoin miners are a boon to the electric grid. The state's electricity is cheap and cryptocurrency miners could make 6 times as much as the cost of power. But Rayburn doesn't want to take any unwarranted risks. He sold $908 million in bonds in February to cover the ERCOT bill, which covers soaring power costs in last year's energy crisis. The state will be paying back the debt over the next 28 years. But some development experts remain skeptical about the idea of putting a bounty on Bitcoin. Balin Campbell, executive director of Appalachia, a non-profit organization that advocates for low energy costs in eastern Kentucky, believes that the state's limited energy infrastructure is already stretched thin. By providing incentives to miners, state lawmakers are failing to provide local businesses with the same support. Some see a parallel between this and the defunct coal industry, which was dominated by out-of-state money. In June, Governor Greg Abbott signed a legislative framework for cryptocurrencies to create the legal environment for cryptocurrency investment in the state. The law amends the Texas Uniform Commercial Code, creating an enabling environment for the industry to flourish. It also offers tax incentives for miners to shut down, but the state must act quickly on the information from these studies. If they do not, the state's power grid could be undermined. High temperatures in Texas have forced the state's electric grid operator to raise prices at times when demand for electricity is at its highest. That means some Bitcoin mining operations in the state may have to shut down during peak energy demand hours. The electric grid operator, the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, has yet to publicly disclose the results of its evaluation of the effects of cryptocurrency mining on the grid. However, it plans to vote on a task force that will study how to ensure mine connectivity in the state. The mining industry in Texas has a unique advantage over traditional energy production. By monetizing solar energy and wind energy, mining operations can produce more power than the grid requires. While this could potentially result in lower utility rates, this method also puts an additional strain on the grid's unstable system. However, for now, Bitcoin mining in Texas is a good way to keep electricity costs low while helping the local grid remain stable. Despite the potential for a spike in energy prices, Texas Bitcoin miners are doing their part to support ERCOT. Marathon Digital, a major player in the U.S. Bitcoin mining industry, is coordinating with the company to ensure that it receives power it needs during peak summertime. Using demand response technology to sell their excess power back to ERCOT can help stabilize the grid. During the severe winter storms last year, some Bitcoin mining operations in Texas paused operations. But in Big Spring, a power curtailment lasted 2.5 days. Fortunately, the mine is connected to a power substation that did not lose power. However, one Bitcoin mining operation claims that it was paid by the Electric Reliability Council of Texas to cease purchasing power. Computer North declined to comment on the arrangement with ERCOT.